Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome tonight to the Speaking Hope and Life broadcast. I am so glad you're here. I'm hoping that my computer does what I need it to do because it's not cooperating with me thus far. But you know what? I'm still moving forward. Yes, still moving forward. Hello, everybody. Welcome tonight into the broadcast. I am glad that you are here. Welcome tonight. Hello, Brenda. It's great to see you again tonight. Trying to get everything situated on my end. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube Live. And hello, Periscope and Twitter. Hello, 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 Mika. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for, yeah, I found this little treasure. I like it. Let me just stand up. You see the top? She said she liked the top, so I was trying to show her the whole, give her the full effect. Oop, my thing just got a little dark. Good evening, everybody. How is everyone doing? I hope you all are well. Welcome tonight to the Speaking Hope and Life broadcast. I am so glad that you are here tonight. I'm glad that you have showed up in the room, in the virtual room. You know, we're doing a lot of things virtually. And so I'm glad that you showed up tonight. Listen, if you are joining us for the very first time, won't you share the broadcast? Oh, actually, won't you before you share, won't you tell us where you are joining us from, what city, what state, what country, and let us know who you are. We want to welcome you to this evening's broadcast. I'm glad that you are here, glad that you made it, glad that you are in the land of the living. Welcome, welcome everyone who is joining in tonight. Again, welcome Facebook, welcome Periscope, and welcome YouTube Live, all of you that are joining from those different platforms. I am glad that you're here. I'm excited about our topic tonight. Listen, we are going to jump right in. So I welcome each of you tonight to the Speaking Hope and Life broadcast. You know, here, if you've been here for any amount of time, you know that there are three areas, and not only those, but the founding. Hello, Mama Shirley. Blessings to you. The founding areas of why we're even out here speaking in this space, showing up in this virtual space, is because we are speaking life to dead places that they can spring forth and do what? Thrive. We are speaking life to dormant places so that they can be activated and do what? Begin to produce. We are speaking life to those broken places so that those broken places can be healed and restored. Welcome to each of you this evening. I am your host, Nedra Buckmeyer. I am a daughter of the King. I am the wife to Kurt Buckmeyer. I am the mom to Christian and Andrew. I am also a certified life coach, professional coach, master coach, which means I have the ability to teach it. I am also an author, international speaker, and I am a mentor. I am a lover of pushing individuals into their purpose, helping them to rise out of those pit places. Hello, Miriam. Good evening good evening to you, sweetheart. Yes, pushing you out of those pit places, and those pit places are positions that inhibit your treasure. So that is who I am. That's who I show up as, in many titles, many areas of function in the body, and in the professional world. And I am an entrepreneur. So tonight I am showing up as the teacher, as the doula, as the midwife to help you push and birth through some things. So we started a topic last week. It was so good. We started a topic last week, and it was entitled Show Up, release your power, right? That was the topic that we started last week. We started out with part 1, and we're going to continue tonight with part 2. Welcome to everyone that is joining tonight. on the broadcast. I am so grateful that you are here. Glad that you're here. So listen, we're going to be here for a few moments, and I'm going to just share with you the second part of Show Up and Release Your Power. So last week, just as a brief review before we tackle tonight and jump into tonight's content, we said last week, right? We talked about, I gave my definition of show up, and it's to be willing, it's to be ready, it's to be able, and to be intentional as you show up, right? When you look up in the dictionary, there is a definition for the word show up. It says to be conspicuous, to be clearly visible. Now, I don't know how many of you tonight are clearly visible. How many of you are actually showing up in the place that you are supposed to show up in? But I'm going to help you with my hand in your back. If you've ever talked to any of the women that I've coached, any of the women that have been in my mentoring programs, any of the women that are part of the Extraordinary Women's Ministry at Spirit and Truth Worship Center, you know that they have a saying that, listen, Pastor Nedra will keep her hand in your back, helping you to birth what has been assigned to your hands. And so I'm continuing on in that assignment. So we talked about last week, we said what it meant to show up, right? And in order to show up, there was a few things that you needed to do as the individual. You need to remove, you need to confront any fear, any doubt, any emotions that was stopping you from showing up, right? And secondly, you needed to have destroyed limiting beliefs. A limiting belief is something that you believe about yourself. When you limit yourself, you're restricting yourself. And not only are you restricting your ability, which is already a skill that you possess, you are restricting those areas, the capacity that you have to develop a skill. So that's pretty bad. You're restricting what you already can do, and then you're restricting what you are capable of doing. Somebody say, Selah. Stop, pause, and think about that. And then thirdly, you must move and act in courage. So those are the three things that in order for you to show up that were necessary. There are other things, but those are the three areas I wanted to focus in on. And then we talked about releasing your power. Right? We talked about that. You remember that last week, how we talked about releasing your power. So how do you do that? The first thing is that you must realize, you must realize that there is something of worth that you have to offer, something of worth that you have to offer, be, and or do. That was the first thing as to how you can release your power. The second thing is that you must no longer stifle who you were created to be. Who you were created to be. You can no longer stifle that, because when you do that, you walk in frustration, you're not fulfilled, and you're not releasing your excellence. And then lastly, you must realize that your power was never meant for you. And what do I mean by power? I mean, the word power is your ability to act and to do. The capacity that you have, the capability that you have to achieve and to accomplish anything. It's your strength. That is your power. Those inherent gifts on the inside of you, right? So that's how you released it. And so tonight, since we understand that in order for us to show up, remember my definition was to be ready, right? To be willing, to be able, and to show up with intent. And the dictionary tells us that we must become conspicuous. We must become clearly visible in order to show up. So as we begin to go into, I have five areas that happens, or what happens when you show up. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. What happens when you show up? We already talked about what you need to do in order to show up and how to release your power. So now we're going to focus in on what happens when you show up. And so these can be understood as the results and the benefits gained by you stepping into action. Somebody put that in the chat and say, I need to step into action. I believe many of us have been inactive for so long and we've watched others, we've cheered others on, and there's nothing wrong with that. But listen, there is something that is within you that needs to be released. Your power, your ability to act and to do. So these are some of the benefits and the results of what will happen. What will happen when you show up, when you activate? Okay, and so the first thing that happens when you show up, the first thing, it sounds very simple. Listen to this, very simple, but it's absolutely important. It's important because there's a shift, there's a movement. The first thing that happens when you show up is it causes you to take action. Simple but profound. It causes you to take action. You go from inactivity to action. You go from hoping, wishing, dreaming to doing. You go from living in regret to embracing the moment. You go from plotting and planning to execution. I want you to hear all of those. The first thing that you do, when you the first thing that happens what happens when you show up is that it causes you to take action. I know that there are some of you out there that are watching me, and those that will watch the replay need to take action. You've been inactive for too long, and you need to move from inactivity to action. You need to move from hoping, wishing, and dreaming, which is nothing wrong with that, but you can't stay there. You cannot stay there. You have to absolutely hope. Hope is something that you're expecting, but if you don't move towards the hope, if you don't make some actionable steps, executable steps toward the hope, you will be hoping for the rest of your life. So it moves you from hoping, wishing, and dreaming to doing. It moves you from living in regret. Oh man, I wish I should have. There was an opportunity that I didn't take advantage of, and I did not. It moves you from regret to embracing the moment, jumping in. And sometimes, yes, it may be a little daunting, but you're like, I'm going to have to take the leap, right? And it takes you from continuous planning and plotting, and it moves you to execution. So the first thing that happens when you show up is that it causes you to take action, right? Dr. Martin Luther King says, there's a quote, and I've used this in several of my encounters, my empowerment encounters and teaching and mentoring sessions. I've used this to help women to understand, help them to understand, in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He says, you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Take the first step. Put that in the chat tonight. Tell somebody, take the first step. So the second thing that happens when you show up, the first thing we said is what? It causes you to take action. The second thing is that it causes you to be seen and heard. Yes, yes. Now, these are simplistic, but they are absolutely powerful because it helps you to understand that there is more to life. There is more to what you are experiencing right now. So it causes you to be seen and to be heard. When you are silent, no one knows your excellence. No one knows your creativity. No one knows your strategic ability. No one knows how caring you are. No one knows how much a thought leader you may be. No one knows how brilliant you are and the ability to make sense out of madness and chaos. Nobody knows that when you are silent, when you are muffled, when you have not released your voice. They don't know how brilliant you are until you show up and you speak up, until you become conspicuous, until you become clearly visible. You must show up and speak up in order for people to hear you and to see you. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone is a speaker. They're going to host events as a speaker. This does not mean that at all. Listen, your voice can be released. Your purpose can be released as, listen, in a poem. There's more than one way to show up and speak up. I want you to understand that. When you show up and speak up, listen, you can show up with your amazing writing skills. You can show up as an author. As I said, you can show up as a poet. You can show up as a dancer. You can show up as a music composer. You can show up as a music audio engineer. There are countless things, areas, places, genres, whatever's in your wheelhouse, that area of excellence that you can show up. You can show up as a podcaster. You can show up as a blogger. You can show up as a stylist. You can show up as a teacher, wherever, but wherever you show up, when you show up, it causes you to be seen and to be heard. Listen, you can be the voice to the voiceless. In a humanitarian effort, whether it's in your local, whatever it's in your city or state, wherever you dwell, you can give a voice to those who are voiceless. Yes, those who are voiceless. At times, there are populations of our society that seemingly have no voice, but then there are people who are they advocate for those. They are advocates for people who are caught in domestic violence situations, for children, for families, for all sorts of, listen, whatever humanitarian effort, whatever is that's churning in your heart, listen, you can be seen and be heard. That's the power of you showing up. That's what happens when you show up. The first thing, it causes you to take action, and then it causes you to be seen and heard. Thirdly, it causes attraction. It causes attraction. Listen, those who are meant to align with your purpose and with your message, they will be attracted to what you are saying, to what you are doing. And you never know, if you have an effort where you're trying to help, say for instance, you're trying to help teenage moms, or you're trying to, educate individuals on their health, wherever the area is, whatever the area is. Listen, when you show up, it causes an attraction, because what happens then, those who are calibrated to hear your voice, to hear your message, to prick their heart, they are drawn to you. And ultimately, they're drawn to you either because they want to know more, they want to hear more, or possibly they want to join with you and collaborate and possibly do something great. Listen, the power of 2, 3, and 4 is absolutely greater than 1, right? And so it can cause a powerful collaboration, all because you showed up, all because you became conspicuous and clearly visible. It caused you to take action. It caused you now to be seen and heard. And now that you're being seen and heard, listen, it's causing an attraction. It's drawing people to you, to your message, to that hope, to that gift, right? To that purpose, and they'll be in tune with what you are saying. Why? Listen, why am I here? Why am I showing up on a Tuesday evening at 7:40-ish p.m., showing up on a Tuesday evening and even putting together content to be able to empower you? Because I understand that there is a power in serving. I understand that there is a value, that I am offering value to people that have value. And some of you have not identified your value. Some of you are living in a pit place, positions that are inhibiting your treasure. So my message of hope, my message of inspiration, my message that's activating, my message that's pricking you in that place, the place of a place where there's a longing, a place where there is something that has yet to be untapped, a place that has something that needs to be released, a place that has something that needs to grow and needs to flourish and needs to be launched and be released and be unrestricted and have the limits and the brakes pulled off. That's why I show up. I show up because I understand what it means to serve. I understand that there is value in my message and that someone that will come along and hear it, perhaps they will begin to have, it'll begin to click and they'll begin to say, wait a minute, I haven't shown up. I haven't been, conspicuous. I haven't been clearly visible. I've been quite a little frustrated as to how I haven't connected the dots and didn't quite know how to do it. And so I'm here to help you to connect the dots and understand what happens when you show up. What happens when you show up? I understand that even as I speak and the authority that's in my voice, that it is ministering, that it is going to the place exactly where it needs to go. It is attracting those that are in tune with the message that I am speaking. It is speaking life to you. It is inspiring hope. It's igniting a flame within you, a passion within you. And you know what? If you take action, it's a huge if. If you take action, if you take and apply what I have been saying and what I have been sharing, it will help you rewrite your future. That means that you are already headed down a lane, and down that lane was maybe a dry place. Down that lane is what you have done for the past 4 years, the past 5 years, the past 6 years, and you've yielded the absolute same result. And so I'm going to tell you what the definition of that is. If you believe that you're going to continue to do the same thing over and over and over again, and perhaps get different results, the meaning of that is insanity. Now, come on, I'm just trying to help you tonight. So perhaps if you take action and you move beyond putting in the chat amen, and you move beyond putting in the chat, oh, this is good, and you move beyond, oh, this blessed me, you move beyond and you take action, perhaps you will have the ability to realize some of what I'm saying. I believe that I'm speaking to someone tonight, or a whole lot of someones this evening. Yes. Absolutely. It causes attraction. So I understand that when I show up, that there are individuals that are calibrated to the message that I am speaking. I understand that there's an authority by which I can stand in this place, because I understand and I know what it's like not to show up. You see me now, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord. You see me now. But what I understand and what you need to understand is that I haven't always known how to show up. I was like some of you. I didn't know how to lift my voice. I didn't know how to cultivate my excellence. I didn't know how or know what inherently was on the inside of me. I did not know. But when I found my voice, oh my goodness, I understood that, oh my goodness, there's possibly other people that don't have their voice, that don't know their voice, and don't know how to show up and release that power, release that inherent excellence that was placed there by Almighty God. Perhaps there are some others that don't know how to show up and release their power. They don't know how to be ready. They don't know how to be willing. They don't know how to be able. They don't know how to be intentional. They don't know how to take the first step. And so that's why I show up. Yes. What is your why tonight? What is your why tonight? That is absolutely important. So when you show up, it causes attraction. Those that are meant to hear and to see you will begin to align with the purpose and your message. However, that message is delivered. Once you remove the muffle from your mouth, once you remove the silence, once you remove and you begin to speak, and it's not, remember we said it's not only the verbal speaking. You can do it in a book, you can do it in a poem, you can sing it. Listen, you can be a dancer, but you are still releasing that inherent strategic excellence. You're still showing up and releasing your power, and your power is your ability to act and to do, the capability to accomplish things, to get things done. It's your strength. Number 4, when you show up, it causes you, listen to this, to create space. Somebody say, I'm creating space. Yes. It causes you to create space. Now that word create means to bring into existence. And space is to extend or to set apart. Previously, if you have not shown up, you have not created, you have not brought anything into existence, nor have you set apart or given yourself space to stand up in your excellence. So that's what it does. When you show up, oh my goodness, it causes you to create space. I want you to hear me tonight. Do not be hesitant because someone else may be doing something similar to what you desire to do, right? Hello, Deshauna, blessings to you tonight. Hello. Blessings to my sweethearts joining from Cambodia. Hello, Minister Joyce, Tanita. Thank you for joining me tonight. Listen, yes, I want you to hear this. What does that mean for you? Those of you that are watching me tonight, what does that mean when you show up? This 4th point is what? It causes you to create space. Somebody say, I'm creating space. I'm creating space. I'm creating space. I'm creating space. And so I don't want you to be, when you show up, I don't want you to be hesitant or the thing that you're thinking about. I do not want you to be hesitant because it may be something similar. You may want to write poems. You may have a strong desire to write poems and encourage people through poems, right? Or encourage people through songs, or encourage people through dance, or encourage people through miming, or encourage people through creating graphics, or encourage people by composing music or composing beats. Listen, it's limitless, right? It is limitless. Don't pigeonhole yourself, and don't allow yourself to be intimidated because there's someone else that's writing a book. Do you know how many authors there are in the world? Countless. I can't count them. Do you know how many authors there are in the world? We don't know. But listen, you have a message, you have a story, and if that's what you desire to do and how you are showing up and releasing your power and putting it in a book, absolutely do that. Listen, if you're not the type of person that wants to even be on a live, you can do a podcast. Nobody sees you. They just hear your beautiful voice, and the content is what matters anyway. The content, is the content meaningful? Is there a purpose? Is it adding value? Is it inspiring? Is it influencing? Come on, somebody. I'm helping you tonight. Listen, I'm giving you value, giving you content, giving you help to help you how to show up and release your power. So the 4th thing of what happens when you show up is that it helps you to create space. How many restaurants are there in the world? There's so many fast food. There's Mickey D's, there's Chick-fil-A, there's Sonic, there's, oh my goodness, there's so many fast food restaurants. And listen, there are several of them. You'll see a McDonald's on this side of the street and a Burger King on the other, and a Chick-fil-A up the street. And they all have a ton of cars in the driveway. A ton of cars in the driveway. I'm using this example to let you know, just because it's similar doesn't mean it's the same. Listen, just because it's similar doesn't mean it's the same. Remember, you are creating space. There will never, I need you to hear this, there will never ever be another you. There will never ever be another Shirley. There will never ever be another Tanita. There will never ever be another Deshauna. There will never ever be another Miriam. There will never ever be another Joyce. You have been created meticulously and uniquely by your God. What you bring, it will be your unique design, your unique message, your unique method, your passion, and your purpose. Come on, somebody. You showing up causes you to create space. Listen, this verse, the biblical verse, I have used before, and I'm going to use it again because it's apropos for this fourth point. Proverbs 6:18 and 16. A man's gifts. What will a man's gift do? It makes room for him, for her, for him, for her, and does what it brings you before great men. Your gift, using your gift, walking in that gift, exercising that gift, fine-tuning that gift, whatever your gift is. When you use your gift, it makes room for you. It causes you to create space. It literally makes your pathway large. That's what that makes room in the Hebrew means. Tonight, listen, is your gift making your way large? Is your gift making your creating space for you? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I need you to hear tonight. Is it making space for you? Is it making room for you? The fifth thing that happens when you show up is it causes your confidence to be built. Causes it to be bolstered. It causes you to stand in confidence. Listen, not to say that I'm all that and a bag of chips. That is not what I'm talking about. But what it does do, it lets you know, because you've moved from, remember, inactivity to being active. You've moved from wishing, hoping, dreaming, right, to actually doing. You moved from regret and you moved to what? Actually embracing the moment. You've moved, right? You've moved from a place of planning and plotting to execution. So now there's that action component. So we said that the first thing that what happens when you show up is that, what does it do? Listen, it causes you to take action. Secondly, it causes you to be seen and heard. Thirdly, what was the third thing we said? The third thing is that it causes an attraction. Your message, your purpose, those individuals that are meant and drawn to that what you have to say and what you're doing, that helps that attraction, that natural attraction to happen and to take place. Right? And fourthly, causes you to create space. Lastly, it causes your confidence to be built. When something is built, it means that it's made stronger, that it's made more intense. And I want to read the definition of the word confidence. It's a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. Let me say that again. A feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. It will cause your confidence to be built. I saw a quote today from my mentor and my coach. I love her. I absolutely love her. Her name is Stephanie Kirkland. Often when I am working on some things and I haven't even talked to her or haven't, seen anything she posted, it's like an alignment of with what I'm thinking about or what I'm working on or things of that nature. It's in alignment. And today, when I saw her post said this, and it speaks to the whole confidence piece. Her post said, confidence doesn't grow before action. Listen, doesn't grow before action. Confidence grows as a result of action. So it's time for you to take a leap. It's time for you to jump. It's time for you to show up and release your power. You learn by doing. You don't learn. Sometimes people learn by watching, but you have the ability to fine tune it, to execute it at a greater level when you step into that thing and you begin to do it yourself. Let's take a breath. We've said a lot tonight. We've said a lot. Let me see. What time is it? Oh my goodness. It's time for me to go. Didn't want to be on here too long. So I hope that you heard me tonight. Now, last week, we had a homework assignment. You were asked to share the broadcast, and you were also asked the question was, where did you need to emerge? And remember that word emerge, it was to do what? To move out of the way of, or away from something and come into view. It's the whole concept of showing up, right? The whole concept of showing up, right? And so we want to move beyond. I want you to move beyond watching, and from you to go from watching to doing, to taking action, right? So you know me, I'm all about taking action. I will challenge you to move beyond where you are, move and stretch you. Listen, because that's how you grow, right? That is exactly how you grow. Some may be a little scary, some may be a little daunting. But listen, you are capable of doing it. So this concludes part 2 of Show Up and Release Your Power. But listen, it's not over. I want you to really consider this. Any of you who have been looking to move forward but didn't know how. You didn't quite know how, right? You're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? How do I start? Hello, Coach Vicki. Thank you for joining me. How do I move beyond the hoping, wishing, dreaming to doing? How do I move from inactivity to taking action? How do I move from regret to living in the moment? How do I move from really wanting to do, but don't really know how to take the first step? Thank you so much, Paulette, for joining tonight. Let us know where you're joining from. So how do I do that? And so, you know me, I'm always thinking of ways to help people, to get them to the place of fulfillment, right? The place of fulfillment, to fulfilling, because no one wants to live a life unfilled, right? No one wants to do that. No one. I don't know about you, but that's not me. So I thought of a great 5-day challenge. Somebody say 5-day challenge. 5-day challenge. Listen, it's absolutely achievable. It's absolutely possible. I'm going to host a 5-day challenge. And listen to this. The investment is only $20. Somebody say 20. I want you to put that in the chat, because that's the investment. I believe in you that much that I am willing to pour into you, meet you 5 days. Come on. Hello, Elise. Blessings to you tonight. 5-day challenge. And this challenge is, listen, it's entitled Unleash Her, right? I'm ready to show up. If you are ready to show up, we've talked about for the past 2 weeks, last Tuesday and this Tuesday, we talked about what was necessary in order for you to show up. We talked about what releasing your power. How do you release your power? And tonight we talked about the benefits, literally the benefit of you showing up. Listen, many of you need to show up. There's some places that you need to show up, some things that you need to show up to. Listen, you need to show up for yourself. My goodness. Listen, my coach is on here. My trainer is on here. She's a certified trainer, a certified nutritionist and nutrition with meals. She's a woman of God. She has an amazing business, her and her husband. And I've been a part of her program for the past, this is the beginning of the 3rd year. I came in 40 pounds heavier. Yes, 40 pounds heavier. And I had to shift and change some things. I had to realign some things. I went from hoping, from wishing, from dreaming, listen, to doing. Come on. I went from doing, because listen, it's going to take action. Somebody put in the chat, it's going to take action. Let me tell you how I had to realign my life. When you realign some things, then you begin to put things in its proper place, right? So I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning, 4:30 a.m. Oh, dark 30 in the morning. Many of you have heard this before. Some of you may not have heard this, but I had to get up at 4:30 to meet my trainers at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. Oh my goodness, I did not want to leave that pillow. I did not want to leave the pillow, but I realized there was a commitment that I had made to me. Come on. Anytime you are looking for change, any individual that's looking for change, someone that's looking for change, there is a desire for you to experience something different. Is there anybody watching tonight that's longing to experience something different? And when you long to experience something different, then there's always a commitment that you make to experience that alternate result. It comes from a commitment. First, your mind has to get right. I have to get my mind right. And then there's that level of commitment that I know that I'm looking and I'm desiring to see something different. So I have to navigate. I have to move towards that different thing that I desire to see. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So this is why I created the 5-day challenge. So I'm going to tell you this. I am a woman on a journey. I am of course, many of you know, pastor, teacher, speaker, all of that. But what I realize is, as I'm ready to meet people where they are, I'm ready to meet you right where you are. So tonight, are you willing to make a commitment to yourself? A commitment to yourself to show up. Many of you need to show up in different areas. We talked tonight about what happens when you show up. What happens that, listen, it causes you to take action, right? It causes you to be seen and heard. It causes, there's a level of attraction, because then whatever that message is or whatever that purpose is, people will draw to even help to align to help you in that message, right? And then it causes you to create space in that lane of your excellence. And then it causes you to build confidence. I believe that many of you that are watching tonight, that there is something that you need to take action in. There is something that you need to emerge in and from. Emerge means to move out of or away from something and come into view. Tonight, what is it that you need to come into view with? What is it that you need to move away from? What is it that you need to rise from? What is it tonight? I know that I'm talking to someone tonight. I know that I'm talking to an individual that needs to move out and away from something. You need to show up. You need to show up. And I believe that you are ready. So you can join me on this 5-day challenge. We will meet in a private Facebook group. There you will be held accountable each day for a few different things. Listen, if you're going to do it, just jump in. I am going to try to show you, bear with me for a moment. I'm going to try to show you the graphic because it wasn't letting me be great. I'm going to try to show you the graphic tonight, so that you can get a glimpse of what I created. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Let me see if it'll let me do that. It may not. It's not cooperating with me. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, I think it may let me share my screen. So I am going to pull this up, but tonight, I hope that this has helped you tonight. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. So yes, listen, the challenge is only $20. It is a 5-day challenge. And we will, because what I realize as I am coaching and mentoring women, that some of these areas that are stopping and that are restricting people, restricting women, because I am definitely called to women from actually pursuing some things, is their identity, who they understand themselves to be, confidence, and then sometimes it's this this emotional, the ability to be emotionally whole, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that in these 5 days, because you know what? It is absolutely time for you to show up. It's time for you to show up in your excellence. It's time for you to show up in your greatness. It is absolutely time for you to do that. So let me see. I pulled it up, and so I'm going to try to show you and share my screen with you so that you can see the little graphic I created. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can just add it in here in the post. Let's see if I can add it in the chat. Okay, let me try share. Let's see if it'll let me do that. Give me a few seconds. Oh, it's not letting me do it. Dang it. I'm sorry. Okay, so it won't let me share. But what I will do is I will put the bit.ly link in here. The bit.ly link is bit.ly/5-day show up. So it's March 1st through the 5th. And yes, I just put it in there. So hopefully you can see it. Let me put it in here and then I'll pin it so that you can see it. So yes, it is a 5-day challenge, and we're going to talk about a few things in that challenge because listen, I believe that it's time for you to show up. It's time for you to release your power. And there is $20 can definitely often can be, is affordable. And so because I want you to be able to show up and release your power, right? So thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I put it in the chat, so I want you to see. I just pinned it. So hopefully you have the ability to see that. So listen, I'm looking for several of you to join up. I'm looking for several of you to sign up. Share it, tell your friends. I'll still actually promote it and talk about it outside of here on some other platforms or what have you. So listen, it's time. It's time for you to show up. There's some things that you need to show up to, and you need to show up for yourself. Yes, yes, and yes. So if you want 5 days with me, it'll probably just be like 30, 40-minute sessions. And we'll do it in the private Facebook group. And there will be nuggets and all sorts of great stuff to share and to learn and to glean. So show up for yourself. 5-day challenge. I want you to show up because you know what? Someone's waiting on you. Someone's waiting on you. So I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for joining me. This is going to help you emerge. This is going to help individuals to understand, okay, their identity. How is it instrumental in me showing up? How is it that me understanding who I am going to be beneficial to help me show up? And then that area of confidence and being emotionally whole. Those 3 areas absolutely play a part in you showing up. And so you need to show up and release your power. Thank you so much for joining the Speaking Hope and Life broadcast. Listen, I want you to go out and register for the 5-day challenge. It starts March the 1st, and it's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, March 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th, and the 5th. We will gather in a Facebook group. Once you're registered, you'll have access to the group, and then we'll move on from there. So listen, I'm looking forward to seeing you inside the challenge, looking forward to stretching, looking forward to empowering, looking forward to lifting, looking forward to helping you to see yourself show up and do what? Release your power. Listen, share the broadcast tonight. I thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being a part of this tonight. I want you to make sure that you are showing up for yourself. Okay, we need to show up for ourselves, show up in power, show up in strength. Okay, don't forget that you still need to show up for yourself. So thank you so much for joining me. Listen, connect with me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nedra Buckmeyer. Also connect with me on Instagram at Lady Buckmeyer. You can also connect with me on Twitter at Lady Buckmeyer. Also Periscope. However, Periscope will be ending at the end of March, but I'm actually already and have already been on on Twitter, so that account will just move over there. And of course, continue to join me here on Facebook Live for all of this good and great stuff. Okay, so have a great evening. I look forward to seeing you the next time. I'll be back next Tuesday. And we don't know what we're talking about. We may continue with some things in this area, since we want people to actually show up, to be conspicuous and clearly visible. All right. Great evening to all of you. Thank you for joining. And I look forward to seeing you inside the 5-day challenge. Or listen, I also, what is it? It's on February 27th. It is the Birth It Masterclass. That is 10 to 11:30. And on February the 27th, if you're interested in that, listen, register for that as well. So looking forward to seeing you. Have a great evening. Thanks so much for joining me. Good night.